Today's review is another new 10-year celebration from Verdant. This is a collaboration with Garage Project, not to be confused with the Garage Brewery in Spain, but this is the Garage Project based in Wellington, which, for those who know the geography, is in New Zealand. That's North Island, right down at the bottom of the south. But what's this one going to be like? Well, keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to the 10-year celebration from Verdant. We've had a couple of these. I've got a couple more. Well, this one and another one. No, I've had one. I can't remember how many I've done now at this point because I left, but there was a bit of a space between that one and this one. But I've got this one and I've got a double IPA. So I think actually this is the second one. So this one is an IPA, 6.5%. Again, this is just called 10 years. And it's in collaboration with the Garage Project. Now, when I saw that, I thought, oh, Garage, yeah, we know those. They're from Barcelona in Spain. But it's not the Garage Brewery or Garage Beer Company, I think they're called. But Garage Project, which are based in Wellington, which is right at the bottom of the North Island. So right in the south of the North Island. Yeah, that's confusing. So obviously, if it's a collaboration with them, we can expect plenty of New Zealand hops. And exactly is what we have. Nelson Sauvin. The big hit. I don't know. Nelson Sauvin seems to be the... Yes, it's in a lot. But, you know, there's all these other ones that seem to be taken over. Ruakau and Rawaka. So that's on the hot side. On the cold side, we've got Nelson Sauvin, Ruakau, but we've got Mutueka. So I'm expecting a big New Zealand hopped soupy beer. Let's crack it open, get it in glass, and see if it's going to be any good. I thought that the double that I had was all right. Was good, in fact, but not great. I expected a bit more. So I don't know whether my expectations are of this one. Obviously it's an IPA, but you know, Verdant make great IPAs. And I have got another double, and I think that one's a collaboration with Verdant, which is another brewery as well, collaboration. But anyway, that was before, this one is now. Beer in a glass. Wow, look at that. Beautiful custardy coloured beer. We've got 3 fingers, quite loose, bubbly head. Yeah, you can see the bubbles there. Looks pretty good, you know. Looks cut. We've seen this. If we've seen it once, we've seen it 1,000 times. But when we do see them just like this, we go, "Oh, this is going to be good." Let's see what the aroma's like. Yeah, lots of that Nelson Sauvin, grape, gooseberry, grapefruits, lemons, limes. All that sort of good New Zealand aroma that you'd expect with a New Zealand hop. There's nothing surprising in there. You get a little bit of melon, a little bit of kiwi fruit, a bit of guava, those sort of things coming through. Lots of a little bit of aroma of like fresh apples and pears as well. But I'm talking rubbish. Let's start drinking. I'm thirsty. Cheers, everyone. Oh, that's nice. That is very nice. See how easy that went down. Really smooth. Literally no carbonation at all. It's got this lovely creaminess to it as well. I've seen a few beers recently. I've had this lovely little creaminess. Whether that's my palate changing, I don't know. But there's definitely something a bit creamy flavoured in this beer. There's no lactose or any of that rubbish in here, but just the way that it's made, the way that I presume the way that the yeast and all the rest of it, the hops work together, creates a very soft, smooth mouthfeel. And whether your mind is playing tricks on you, but you think, it's a little bit creamy, that. It's tasty, yeah. Still quite light in terms of the beer. And it's got all the flavours you'd expect. So you're getting grape and gooseberry, lime cuts right through. Then there's a bit of grapefruit coming through on the back end. And yeah, I mean, I could be saying about guavas and all that sort of stuff, and kiwi fruit and melon and stuff like that. There's hints of that, but really it's all about, for me, gooseberry and grape. I do find it quite strange when other reviewers that they don't necessarily get the gooseberry and the grape and those sort of flavors, and but yeah, and again other stuff. But for me, it's every time I drink it, I just think, yeah, it reminds me of drinking something like Chardonnay or I suppose, Sauvignon Blanc, really, New Zealand wine, which it's got those sort of flavours. It's got a real cuttingness to it, a real refreshment, citrus. There's definitely that creaminess in it. I think as well, I'm getting more flavour from this beer today because this has been out of the fridge a good hour today, which is usually longer than I would normally have a beer out of the fridge, but still cold. And ideally, if you're a real, craft beer or IPA expert or aficionado or whatever you want to call yourself, this is probably the right temperature. I probably like them a little bit colder, but I do agree that you get more flavour the warmer it is. Obviously, if I live another half an hour, I think that'd be too much. And I think because it isn't as cold, it goes down really easily and quickly. This is a really good beer. I think it's better than double IPA I've had. So we've got one more of these to come. I don't know if I will try and put these back to back when I actually put them on the channel, but I'm actually quite a way behind at this point. I'm reviewing this now, and it is the sort of the 9th of October, but I know already that I've got about at least a week's worth of reviews that I've stacked up. So you'll probably be more like the end of October. So hopefully this is still around. But for me, this is the one, especially if you like IPAs. Verdant make good IPAs, like New Zealand IPAs. This is a very good beer. Yeah, well, all we need to do now is get the scores. Okay, the scores are in for 10 years with the Garage Project. This is an IPA, 6.5%, part of that Verdant's 10-year celebration. It's a lovely beer, this one, and the scores represent that. So starting with aroma, appearance, flavour, value for money. This one was about £5.50, I think it was. And finally, my overall experience. Type the scores up. Well, what do you know? We get another highly recommended beer, and I made a craft beer in the 80s. It is, in fact, a total score of 81 out of 100. Yeah, it's a good score. Seems like we've had a few of these beers recently that have been pretty good. Certainly the what was the last one? I've got I sit here. I've got a couple of them Azvecs in the 80s. I've got a Beak one that was in the 80s. Yeah, lots of good beers in the 80s recently. But again, when you buy a Verdant beer, the worst you're going to get is maybe a 77, 78, and the best you're going to get could be 85, 86. That's their sweet spot, really. They make great beers. They're consistently good, and in fact, they're consistently very good. That's why they're one of my favourite breweries. Yes, they make great beer, but compared with everything else that everyone else will sometimes have the odd one or two that's not quite up to snuff, really. But Verdant make very good beers all the time, and that's always the judge of a good brewery. So but let me know if you've had any of these 10 years. I probably miss one. I've got 3 of them, but I missed one of them, and I think one of them was the one which has got Ichichu juice in it or something like that, which I didn't get for some reason. I think that was another IPA, but I've got a double one to come, collaboration with Verdant. So whether that will be the best of the lot, well, we just have to like the video, subscribe, and then you'll get notified as soon as as the next one drops. It could be tomorrow, it could be a couple of days, you don't know. So subscribe right now. And until the next one, well, you know what you do. Drink good craft beer and keep on rocking.